Hey guys, welcome. Hope you guys can hear me, see me fine. Just waiting for a few people to come in. If you're joining me live, come and say hi. You guys come and say come and say hi if you can hear me and see me fine. We're just gonna get started in a couple of minutes. We got a few people jumping on this. Welcome if you're joining for the first time. My name is Jag, and we're gonna get started in another 1 or 2 minutes. We're just waiting for a few people to come in. Awesome. Can you let me know if you can hear me and see me fine? We got a few cameras going on. I just want to make sure that everything's working and you can actually hear me fine. That'll be awesome. Let me do one more thing. I think run the Facebook Live as well while we having a chat. All right. If you're dialing in, let me know where you're from. Where you are from. Two questions. Where you from, and what were you doing just before you dialed into this? Just before that, right? So two questions. Where are you from? Or where you dialing in from? And also, what were you doing right before this? What were you doing right before this? Let me start this as well. I'm just waiting for a few people. So we're gonna get started pretty soon, guys. Just a couple of minutes, waiting for a few people to come in, and I've got a lot of things to cover. Let's get going and let's get started. I think it looks pretty good to me so far, and screen's good. You guys can hear me, see me fine. Um, let me play around with a couple of things. So this is one mode. I know you guys can see me on this side as well. This looks pretty cool on this way, and also I've got a couple of other modes as well, which we're gonna have a chat on this side as well, which looks awesome. I love this screen. I love this shot. So all right, let me fix my screen and see if I can actually get it a bit better, and so you guys can actually have a chat with me. Awesome. Melbourne. So good to have you here. All right, so today we're going to have a chat about what's happening in this world right now. If you're one of those people who are looking to scale your business, if you are in this space that you're deciding to come in and say, hey, I want to take my business to the next level. Once everything is over, I've been sort of not doing much, and I believe this is the right time to take action and take my business to the next level. So you're going to find it really beneficial. You're going to find a lot of tips and tricks which are working. I'm not just going to talk on the camera and just do the instructions. I'm going to show you something as well as part of this, that what we've been doing. So we're probably going to be spending 30, 40, 50 minutes, depending how long it goes, depending how many people ask questions. So what I'm going to do at the end is just stick around. If you got any questions, you want to ask anything, you're working on something which is not working. And I want to share my strategy as well, what we teaching our students or part of the tribe, how things are working and how to take the next level, how to take the next step in your business. Because here is what I learned, right? So I want to share something with you guys. So what most people do is, when things are working, they kind of, everything is on them. When things are not working, everything's on them as well. So what happens is, because if you are the person who is each time failing, what's going to happen in next 3 months or next couple of months? You're just going to get tired of failing. That's why a lot of people kind of stop taking action, because everything is on them. So I want to share a strategy with you guys where blame is not on you, where you don't feel that it's you failed. It's not it's not the way everything sort of come to you, right? So what we want to share is what we use as a project, which we take it to the market, and everything is on project. If things work, that's good. If things don't work, we tweak it, right? So it's like a mechanic. It's like a car. When cars don't work, the blame is not on the person who drive the car. The blame is always, hey, what's need to be fixed within the car, and let's take it to the mechanic and let's fix that. What needed repair. It's about the process. It's about the engine. It's about the mechanics. It's about everything else which make the car work. And I think business is like that as well. We have different things within the business. Sometimes we just need to tweak things. It's not your fault. It's not my fault. It's not anybody's fault when things don't work. It's just we haven't been given this kind of knowledge before. We haven't been taught these way of doing things, and we haven't been given this very specific instructions of what to do to make things work. And when things don't work, we just kind of say, hey, I'm lacking in something. I don't know much about it. I'm a failure. I'm not good at this. I might just stop doing this or do something else, right? So, cars, I mean, but people who build these big companies, there is a reason they kind of succeed in that stuff, because no blame is on them. Everything is kind of a part of the process. So I want to share something with you guys. So so this session, the entire 30, 40, 50 minutes, however long we're gonna go for, is for people who are experts, right? People who sell their expert knowledge. You are a coach, you are a consultant, you are a service provider, and you sell your skill set to make money. If you are one of those people, this is for you. On the other hand, if you are trying to sell, restaurant product, food, or something on Amazon, this is not for you, right? So I'm not going to talk about this. I'm very specifically talking about people who sell their skill set to make money. So this session is for you. So we're going to chat about a lot of stuff, right? So here it is. Let me change my screen and see if I can actually share something with you guys, and see if this works. And love to see this thing work. Awesome, this works. Awesome. All right, cool. That's good. So hey, something. This is very important. So I want to share this with you guys. We, if here is, some things I'm going to talk about. What's working right now in the industry? What's going on at the moment, right at this point, right? So, and also, what have we been doing from last 6 to 8 weeks, right? How things or the world has changed, especially if you are paying for marketing, especially if you trying to scale your business, especially if you are one of those people who thinking that, hey, I'm sick and tired of working for somebody else. Now is the time I want to take or start a business. And I think what most people do is the first step to start a business is they look at the past and say, hey, this is where I come from, and this is what I'm good at. Why not I just do this, right? So, and if you're thinking that, you're at the right place, because we're going to chat about some stuff which is going to add quite a lot of value to what are you trying to do. So before I get into it, if you're watching this live right now with me, let me know where you're from, right? So let me know where you're from, where you're dialing from. Some people are dialing from Melbourne, Queensland, Sydney, Newcastle. Awesome. That's good. That's good. Auckland, New Zealand's getting pretty cool these days. I've got a lot of people jumping on this from New Zealand as well, which is awesome. So here is what's not working right now. So if you're one of those people who trying to sell products and trying to sell your services, here are the 3 things what we found is not working, right? So number one thing which is not working right now, anything where you ask people to book a call, it's not working right now. It's not working. It might have worked in the past. It might work for people like Tony Robbins, but it's not working for people like you and me. And there is a reason for this, right? So, and what I discovered is part of this, whenever there is a lot of friction for client to take a big step, people are not taking that big step, right? So people are living in a fear at the moment. People are coming out of fear at the moment, or people don't know what's going to happen. People are kind of scared. So when you have something in place and you want them to take a bold action, people kind of don't do it. And this is what's happening. This is what I found is people not picking up the phone and booking a strategy call. If your marketing system, if your business, if your website says that today, hey, click here, book a call with me, I'll give you free strategy session, or I'll give you free of this, it's probably not going to work. Why? Because that's not the way it's working. So I think it's very important to see that if you're one of those people who kind of are thinking of doing it, or who have this in place, my suggestion would be change that, or remove that, because people are not interested in booking calls at this level right now. in their business. So this just remove that. It's not working. In none of our places you'll see, we have this thing called book a call, right? It's not working. So that's not working at all. So stop doing this. And I'm going to talk about later down the track what's working, so you can actually change that as well, right? So here is something you must look into this as well, right? So one is, if you have anywhere called the call to action, even in your paid advertising, and you're saying, hey, book a call, that's the first step. That won't work. I've seen a lot of people's ad coming through. A lot of our clients, we stopped doing that from last 6 weeks now, that there is no call to action on there saying book a call. It's a big step. The second thing is, which kind of not working right now, and I've tried it, spend my own money, it doesn't work, that if you're trying to say to people, hey, pivot and change the plan will help you make this happen, that kind of thing is not working. If you're talking about pandemic, if you're talking about coronavirus, if you're talking about any of those stuff, it's not working at the moment. Why? Because I think people are sick of hearing this again and again. People are sick of hearing this, and they need something different. So if your marketing message, if your business is at the level where you're talking about COVID-19, it's kind of not working. A lot of people are sick of this. A lot of people are sick of people telling them what to do now. So it's only 4 weeks, right? 6 weeks. People are kind of sick of this, because every time you open up a news channel, they're just talking about this thing called COVID-19. So I think remove that from your marketing. We tried that, nothing happened, and I want to show you at the end what actually works right now if you are in a paid marketing kind of space. The other thing which is not working is trying to sell people directly, right? So if your marketing message is making people sell directly, anything you saying to people, hey, come and enroll into my program, come and buy this from me, this is what we're selling, buy it, even if it's $97, even if $99, even if it's $27, that's not working. People are not buying stuff straight away. So if you're trying to sell directly to people through the advertisement, unless you have a big brand, that doesn't work right now. It might work in next 6 weeks to 8 weeks when people are back at work and people are doing things. It's not working right now. The reason I can say this is, we spend about $60,000 to $80,000 a month on Facebook ads, and we manage about 40 to 60 clients, depending who's want to market at the time. So that's a lot of clients. We work with quite a number of people, and because of these reasons, people when we started it, you don't get the response back. So we kind of change it to make sure that we know what works right now in the industry. And also, I'm part of big groups in the US. Some of my mentors' learning comes from there as well. So it's not only 50 or 60 clients, our clients, but also hundreds and thousands of the other clients from other part of the world as well. So that things is not working. So stop selling directly. So at the end, I'm going to show you what works as well. At the moment, I'm saying what's not working right now. So if you have a marketing today which doing this message saying book a call with me, or talk about the pandemic, talk about the COVID-19, talk about the pivot plans, that doesn't work. And also, if you are trying to sell something directly through the ads, that doesn't work. And that's a big thing, right? So and also, let me ask you this question, right? So how many of you, if you're watching this live, if you are here with me, are you actually spending any money on paid advertising? Are you spending any money at the moment on paid advertising? Let me know. Are you spending any money on paid advertising right now? Let me know. Just say yes or no. If you're spending any money on paid ads, just let me know. Say yes or no if you're spending any money, right? Or if you have spent any money in the last 4 weeks on paid advertisement. Have you spent any money on paid advertisement in the last 4 weeks? Let me know if you have spent any money. Let me see if people are here. If you spend any money, let me know. So the reason I'm asking this question is because it's very relevant if you're spending a bit of money on Facebook, right? So if you're not spending any money, this is kind of thing is not relevant, what I'm talking about. So if you haven't spent or you're not spending any money, it doesn't actually matter for you, right? So if you're looking to spend, then it's a big thing, right? So if you are at that level where you're trying to scale your business, where you are you're trying to find it, here are some of the things you might want to write it down as well. If you this is the right time to ask these questions. This is the right time to step back and ask these questions before you start thinking about doing a paid marketing. Because I always say to people, right, paid marketing is going to amplify whatever you do. Right, it's amplification of your business, amplification of your work, your stuff, or whatever you're selling. So if your things are not working today, marketing is not going to make it work. Right, so people have this disbelief or belief in that way that if they start paying Facebook, their business might start to work. If your business is not working without marketing, marketing is just going to double that, meaning that it's not double, it's not going to work. Right, so it's amplify whatever you're selling. If making 10,000, yes, marketing can make it, take it to 30, 40, 50, $60,000 a month. But if you are not making any dollars, you're making $500 a month at the moment, marketing kind of not going to help. Right, so marketing only helps to amplify when you're. But I really want to give you these 4 questions, which is going to help you to take your business to say a couple of grand or 3, 4 grand. If you have a really, really, really clear answer to these questions, I promise you these questions will change your life. Right, so here is the number 1 question: who are you? Number 1 question, who are you? And I'm talking about from an identity perspective. Right, I'm talking about identity perspective. I'm not talking about spiritual. I'm not talking about what Ram Dass would say on this. I'm not talking about what Dr. Wayne Dyer would say on this. I'm talking about a very, very materialistic identity perspective. I can't even say the identity perspective, right? So who are you from identity perspective? Because here's the reason, right? So if you cannot stand up in front of the mirror and say you are a life coach, you are not a life coach right now. If you cannot stand up in front of the mirror and say you are whatever that is for you, you are not, because you haven't internalized that yet. So it's really important to know who you are, right? Who you are from that perspective. You might be, right? Some people look at the past, right? I'm not talking about you need to look at the past, that, hey, I've been an IT guy for almost all my life. Now I'm still an IT guy, right? So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about who are you? Have you internalized who you are? Whether you spend about 6 months in this new journey, and this new journey is that what you want to take in the future, right? And have you actually made sure that you actually believe who you say you are? That's a big answer, right? So big answer. So I think it's a really good to look at it and say to ourselves that, have I actually internalized what I'm trying to say to the people? Because people know that, right? So it doesn't matter how many times you take it to people and say, I'm going to fix your problems, I've got the solution. Doesn't matter how many times you say it, people can see that. People can see through people these days. So it's really important to have this cleared, have this clarified, and have this sorted out within internally, that you know who you are, right? Because this is the identity you're going to take into public, right? Before they buy your products, before they buy anything from you, they buy you, right? Doesn't matter what you're selling, they buy you, right? Before you even say to them that this is what I'm trying to do, this is what I'm trying to sell, they're buying you. If they're not buying you, if they're not going to buy anything else, right? If they're not buying you, so I know we're talking about marketing here. I know we're talking about what are the strategies, what are the things, but this is a very important thing. And I think most people fail in this kind of stuff. Most people don't understand this kind of stuff. What happens is the logical mind says that I need to learn new strategies. I need to go out and learn Facebook ads. I need to go out and learn marketing. I need to go out and learn funnels. I need to go out and learn, course or some speaking course where I could actually learn how to speak better. We all do that. I did that. I spent a lot of money on that, right? Well, with the time you realize that nothing works. It works for other people. So many other people are making it so much money. They're killing it, but it's not working for you. And the reason it's not working for you is because you haven't identified and internalized within this new identity, right? So once you do that, I promise you all the strategies will make sense. All the strategy will work until you fix that internal identity thing. So number one question you must ask yourself, who are you right now? Right? Who are you? Is this the new identity you want to take it forward, or is that something you want to leave it behind? Right? Say, for example, some people just changing professions at this time, very specifically at this time. They're trying to think about, hey, what I'm going to be doing in next 6 months or next 5 or 10 years of my life or the rest of my life, what I'm going to be doing. If you're one of those people who started to ask these questions, I think this is the perfect time to step back and internalize this new identity, which is going to you take it to the market. Because once you do it, I promise everything else will be straightforward. Because most people kind of forget that and forget to answer that. And we haven't been taught this. To be honest, we haven't been taught this. And once you understand this, things work really well, right? So I hope this made sense, right? I hope this made sense because this is a big question. And once you answer these big questions, the strategies kind of thing works, right? Strategy works really well. So here's a number two question for you. Number two question for you is, who do you help? Who do you help, right? Who do you help? Or who can you help? Who do you help or who can you help, right? So who are those people out there who you can help? Who are those tribe of people who you can help? And this is the number two question you must answer. And something to think about as well, right? So times have changed that we are not sitting in one place. And I'll give you my example. From my perspective, I've always felt comfortable selling things locally. Don't know why. I've never done advertising, in different places, in different countries. Especially for this business, I've always done locally. And I thought, I don't know why I had this fear of selling overseas. But because of this COVID-19 thing, what happened is I was actually said, hey, I'm just going to be sitting and doing this from home anyway. Why don't I just open up and sell it to everywhere and send it to US, send it to New Zealand. I know some of you guys are jumping on from Auckland today, right? So I didn't actually do that before. Why? Because I thought I just have to serve local. So I think the next question you must answer is, who do you serve, right? All these people who you serve, they're not at one place anymore, right? So they're different places. So because we are speaking through the camera, there is no boundaries, right? There are no boundaries. Doesn't matter where you live. Doesn't matter where you live, right? You could actually spend anywhere, and people are sitting at home. They have a bit of time, so you can actually, sell anywhere. That's the magic right now, which is unbelievable, right? So I think find a way to think about that, who you can serve, and also see where they live and which part of the world you can go out and serve them. It's profound. I think it's the limitation we all kind of believe, especially my generation, right? So I feel like saying, feel old even saying this, my generation, right? So because we are one of those people who kind of feel and want to feel the people, want to see people, and want to interact with people. But I think my kids have no problem interacting people through cameras and speaking on Zoom or speaking on different platforms. So they do it all the time. So I think the question here is who you serve and where they live now. So there is no boundaries. There used to be, but there's no boundaries anymore. I think so. Think about that, right? How you can actually scale that to the next level for your business, who you serve, where are those people, right? Once you know that, it sort of makes it easy for you and when you do the advertising. Let's have a look at the other one, right? So what is the problem you solve? Number three question is, what is the problem you solve? So now you know who you serve. What is the problem do you solve? What's their problem you solve, right? What's their problem? What's their problem? Because the other thing you realize that when you're speaking to your target market, when you're speaking your avatar, when you're speaking to the people, in your demographic where you think you can add some value, they're going to sell or they're going to tell you a lot of problems. And they're going to speak about a lot of problems. So I think the question here is, what problem or what solution you're going to be providing them for that problem? right? What are the problems out there you have a solution to? And that's number 4 question for me. What's your offer for that, right? So they're going to tell you a lot of problems. Uh, which one out of 5 or 10 you're going to pick? I would suggest is pick right at the top one. Which one you're going to pick, and what's your offer for that? Because you're not clear on your offer, nothing. Because business doesn't start until you sell something. There is no business until you sell something. So somebody need to sell something, and somebody need to buy something to call it a business. So if you've been doing this work called pro bono and you've been helping people, which is good, but it's not a business yet, right? It's a good practice. You can practice it as long as you want, but it's not a business yet. I think to make it a business, the money has to be involved. And here's my learning from last many years. When people pay money, the content consumption, what they get out of that content is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I had people, who gone through my online program, just online program, got so much out of that. And I've given all these people, or some of these people are my friends. They sat in the room with me for 3 days on our boot camps. Nothing. And people, so on the other hand, just watch my online program and got so much out of that, right? So it's all that, right? So when people pay money, they pay attention. So if you or your clients are not paying money yet, believe me, the attention and the intention won't be there. So before you start doing the marketing thing, before you start talking about the marketing, I think these are the 4 questions. You must be clear in your business. When you're clear, everything else kind of start to stack up after that. But before that, you must be really, really, really clear on these questions. So let me ask you this question. If you're here, does it make sense? Does it make sense? Did that make sense? Right? Did that actually make sense? Did you guys get it? Awesome. Cool. Thank you. Yeah. Right. So it's good to have these questions clear before you go out and start thinking about something else. Right. So let's have a look. I want to talk about this. Right. So let's have a look at this. And it's one of the important things. Right. So remember when we got started? Where am I? Remember when we got started, right? So when we got started, I talk about this, that a lot of people, believe that, when they're taking something to the market, and when things don't work, they kind of fail, right? So you take it to anything to the market, things don't work, and you kind of put a blame on yourself, and kind of get tired, right? So most people do this, and I did that as well. I got sort of tired. But what I learned with the time is, and this is my corporate hat. So putting my corporate hat is, every work which we do within a corporate world is a project, right? So any work you do within the corporate world is just a project, right? So the project pass, the project fail, right? So, but people don't pass and people don't fail. Right? So it's all about the project. So when you put everything on a project, that makes it easy for you, because it takes the blame away from you, and you start to think about what needs to be fixed within the project. So within our world, within our Experts Academy, we use this thing called the project strategy. This is the entire project strategy, which I'm going to sort of give you a bit of information on this. But this is the strategy, right? So what have we talked about earlier? Your market has certain problems. Your market knows certain things. They have certain problems, and you have a solution for that problem, right? So market has a problem, you have a solution to that, and your market, your map, which is the way you're going to be able to fix that problem. This is the step, this is the path, this is the way you're going to help people fix that problem, is the map, right? Map is exactly like any other map you talk about. What are the step-by-step step way to fix their problem. So that's the map. And when everything sort of aligns, what do you get out of that is dollars, right, in the middle. So if you want to make a money, so stop focusing on yourself and start focusing on the project. Every month, every 3 months, every 6 months, every whatever time period you want to do it, you take a project to the market. Right? You take a project to the market. See, this is what happens. when you take a project to the market, um, sometimes your market doesn't like the message, doesn't like the offer, right? It doesn't mean that it's a problem in the market or your way of doing things don't work. And no, it's just the message didn't work, that they didn't actually relate to the message you're trying to give it to them, right? So you probably have to tweak the message, or they probably don't like the way their preference is different. Say, for example, you're trying to sell them, hey, I will do a group coaching with you, or I'll do 2-day event with you, to fix that problem. You come into the room and I'm going to teach you something within 2 days, but they probably don't like that, right? So I'll give you my example. Many years ago, I sort of ran an event. I used to sort of run an online program, and this online program was 2017 when I ran that. And what I did was, and that was my learning curve at the time, I ran this online program for 10 weeks, right? Every week, I wanted people to come online and, come into the room and learn with me in the room for 10 weeks. So here's what happened after 4 weeks. People's interest started to drop down. So my classes were kind of empty in week number 6 and week number 7. None of the people turned up. I had about 15 enrolled students. Only 1 and 2 turned up at week number 5 out of 15. You can imagine, right? So people's interest started to drop. So what it means is, what I learned in the entire cycle was their preference to have that knowledge or deliver that knowledge was absolutely different, because they would have liked me to spend a day or two together to give them everything, rather than dragging it for 2 months, right? So what it means is, in your market, in your world, they also have the preference to accept the way they want to be learned. Some people just want to learn online. Some people just want to be having that knowledge online, right? So this is very important. So I call it a project strategy. I think it's really important. If you apply this project strategy within your business, what it does is it takes the blame away from you, and you start to look at bits and pieces, what needed to be fixed, rather than blame on you and saying that, hey, I didn't do the right thing, I failed, I need to, all that sort of comes on you. So it's really important. You must not take a blame on yourself, because if you take a blame on you, after a couple of times, you're like, this shit is hard. So it's really important, right? So don't take a blame on you. All right, so let's look at this. I'm going to share this something with you guys. This is what's working, right? So hope you guys can see my screen. Can you let me know if you can see the screen? It's just popped up on this side. If you can see the screen, let me know. I'm just going to be sharing this with you guys. Awesome. So here's the screen, right? So this is the screenshot I took before I just, I thought I'd share this screenshot with you. So you can look at it. This is my ads running in Australia and New Zealand, and also in the US, right? So in the last 4 years since we started doing Facebook ads, since I started paying for Facebook, I have never seen these kind of results before, right? So it's not that I became a genius doing things. I'm still learning, but we have never seen these kind of results before. Ads gone a bit cheaper because it's like a supply and demand. A lot of people stopped it. We never stopped it. We just sort of increased the budget. So here's the results. You can see it. If you look at my screen, right? So we had about 200 leads came through in the last few months, every month, every week, we're getting about 40, 50 people coming towards our company, and from the US, from Australia. And the only thing we got to do is just pick up a phone and speak to them, right? So, and what happens is, when you have so many leads coming through for like $700-800, you want to speak. So this scales the business really, really quickly. And I want to share this with you guys, what we're doing to make this happen, right? So to what we're doing to make it happen. So here's a question for you guys, right? So if you're not doing it, but do you actually want to have the same results in your business like this? Do you actually like to have the same results in your business? Do you want to have leads coming through like this in your business? If you like it, let me know, right? So just to see that, right? So would you like to have the same results in your business? Say yes in the comments if you like these results, right? So let me know if you like these kind of results. And it's good to know this, right? So some of the things we're doing, which we know it works, which we absolutely know it works. Before that, we didn't know that, but we learned with the time that some of the things we're doing, with our, effort now, the learnings and these things are working. And I'm going to share with you guys what's working so that you understand it and you can actually make it happen. So here is what's working. Here is what's working, right? Number one thing which is working right now is called email marketing. Yes, email marketing is working. Yes, I'm going back. If you had spoken to me in 2018, 2019 as well, even 2019, I didn't believe that. I did not have this belief that email marketing can work right now. I'd never had this belief, right? I thought I have 40,000 emails, which I've never opened. How the heck email marketing can work right now? But it works, right? I was wrong. And I'm happy to say that I was wrong because I've changed, I've adapted. If you are in my database, I know you are because you are here. You are in my database, you probably have seen it. I've changed the email strategy. I have started to put more effort putting my email copies better, right? Writing my emails, speaking to my database. I've started to put a bit of more thoughts into it. Why? Because it works, right? So when it works, it works. So I think my suggestion would be if you don't have a database, number one thing you must start doing is build your database. Because when the time comes like these, and you don't have money or you don't want to spend money to do Facebook ads or LinkedIn ads or any other ads to grab new people, you want to speak to the people who are already in your database, right? So your database will tell me the size of your revenue. Right? I can tell by looking at your database. If you don't have a database, if you only have 5 people in your database or 10 people in your database, I can tell how much money you're making in your business. If you have 20,000, not bought from somebody else, not the list buying thing, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about real, genuine people who made an effort to register, to download, to do something with your company. If you have this, I can tell you how much money you're making. And here's a standard thing, right? If you have, if you are just starting off, I think the target would be taking you to up to 1,000 people, right? 1,000 people in your database or 2,000 people in your database. Have a goal for rest of the year, 2020. If you are here and you want to have a goal in your business, have this goal to build your database, right? When you do that, and next year comes, if something else happens or you're doing something else and want to build your business really quickly, you send out an email to the people they'll buy something from you, right? So I've sent out an email 3-4 times to my database, asking them to buy my online program where I didn't have any interaction at all, and about 8 people bought it, and it's about $1,000, right? So if I hadn't tried, they wouldn't have bought it. So what it means is, you need to have a database, right? So email marketing is working. And what I said in 2019 and 2018, I was wrong, right? So email marketing works. So please do it. If you haven't done it, do it now. The other thing is, what's working is, think about scaling right now. And think about scaling right now. And here's what I mean, think about scaling. A lot of people in the world right now, they're kind of hiding. A lot of people are kind of hiding. They're not taking action. They're still kind of hiding behind everything. So they're not taking any action. They're still hiding. Because they're hiding, there's a huge market out there for people like yourself and me. So think about scaling right now. And what I said early on, the same message applying. Think about scaling to the next level in your business. If you have been only working in Melbourne or in your city, in Auckland, in Brisbane, in wherever you are, if you're working in that place, my suggestion would be think about taking it to the next level. Think about doing the country now, like, working at the country level, right? Think about working in the entire country or at least entire state. What it does is when you do this, you think about scaling, right? We think about scaling. A lot of people are not thinking about scaling at this moment. And this makes it really, really, really easy for people like yourself and me, because a lot of people out there are kind of disappearing, right? So you want to be one of those people who are standing here. Doesn't matter what happens, whether COVID-19 comes or something else comes, you're still at the same place, sharing the same message, sharing the, or doing the same thing, right? Sometime we all have to go back to the basics and do very, very, very basic stuff. Basic stuff, meaning find a hungry crowd, find people out there who need your help and actually help them. Very basic stuff, but we sometimes have to do this, right? And a lot of people kind of forget that. A lot of people get into the different tracks and different places that they need to do social media, they need to do post, they need to do this. Yes, do that, but all that we do it because we want to help people. Right? When you genuinely help people, when you genuinely have the product which is going to change people's life, which is going to help them get what they want, people just buy from you, right? So you don't need to, especially at these times, because people are looking for somebody who's going to be here for long, right? So this works. If you think about scaling works. And number 3 point, which works really well, is called the partnerships. So partnerships working really well today. And I think the partnership is the old way. A lot of people have been doing it, but I think today is a perfect time. Why the partnership works? Because there is no cost associated with anything, right? So for example, if you are a life coach and you find a business coach, you kind of work together, right? If somebody's a personal development guy and you are a marketing guy, you work together, right? So why? Because personal development people who are in there, they would need a marketing, and the marketing people need it. They're not in the same business, they don't compete, but they have the same crowd, right? So I think the question, the question for you is, where is your client or where is your market today? Who has got the list who you want to serve? Who's got the list right now who you want to serve, right? When you have that, it makes it easy because you can say the same thing. Hey, you can pitch to my clients, you can pitch to my database, and I can serve your database as well, right? So do the partnership if you can, because it's the cheapest way to get to the next level. Right? Do the partnership because it's the cheapest way to get to the next level, and it's really important, right? So today, partnership doesn't cost anything. You just have to pick up a phone and speak to a few people, and some people will say no, and you got to be okay with that. You got to be okay with that because some people will say no, but partnership is the best way to get there, right? So try partnerships, right? So number 4, what I talked about the entire thing, paid ads, right? Paid ads are the cheapest right now. They're working right now. And if you haven't tried it, I would suggest go out and do that. The reason for this is because a lot of people gone from this space, and because a lot of people gone, the ad cost is gone down as well. So it's just supply and demand, straightforward thing, right? A lot of people are not there. So I think it's a good point for all of us to be there to make a difference now, to actually do the work, right? So I think that's what I wanted to cover. I think, hope that made sense to you guys. And I think go out and do a bit of work and go stand up and speak to people. But if you need any help in this space, what we talking about, what I talked about, put a message down there and say help, right? I'll get back to you. We'll tell you what we can do and help you succeed in this world, right? So if you are an expert, we are one of those people who help scale expert business very specifically, right? So expert business means that you are a coach, consultant, service provider, author, speaker, trainer, facilitator, any of those people, and you're looking to scale your business to $10, $15, $20,000 a month. We're happy to help you applying these strategy and way more other than these ones, right? So we have a curriculum, we have a step-by-step method to help you scale that, right? I think it's all about scaling right now. So if you thinking about it, if you want to do it, leave a comment below saying, help. I'll provide you more details on this. But if you got any question, pop it below. I'd love to answer that in the meantime while we're waiting for other people. But if you need help, just put a help in the comments, and happy to get back to you. This video, it's going to be here for a while. It's going to be in the group on a Facebook group as well. It's called the Fast Growth Tribe. If you're there, watching this, it's going to be there for a while. But if you're watching a replay, let me know if you need help, right? So put help there. I'll send you some details. If you like it, if you feel that it works with you, if you match with what we're doing, we're happy to help, right? So, all right, that's it for me. Thank you, guys. Thank you for sticking around. Hope you got something out of this, and lovely to have you here. And thank you for your time. And go out and take action. Go out and take action, because all this knowledge, all this information has no use if you don't take action, because action is the king. People have doubts. The only way doubt can be cleared from your mind is by taking action, because doubt will stay there forever unless you take action. Because the more you take action, the more clarity you get. If you're not clear about certain things, take action. If you are confused, take action. If you have a doubt, take action. If you're stuck, take action, right? So take action. Whether it's a good or bad, just take action, right? So whatever that might be for you. All right, that's it for me. Speak to you guys soon. Have fun. Enjoy your afternoon. And I'll speak to you very soon. See you.